To introduce the next group. They'll introduce themselves in a moment, but as a former employee at the aquarium, it's nice to be able to take these ideas and also the knowledge and the connections that we have and be able to see something move forward. So without further ado, aquarium team, go!
Good morning. I think it's still morning, isn't it? We are Team Starfish, and we are working with the Monterey Bay Aquarium to design the new teen space in the building that the aquarium just purchased on Cannery Row. I'm Rowan.
I'm Laura. I'm Alex.
And I'm Ethan.
Okay, so the challenge we were given was to create a space that could be flexible, a place for the teen conservation leaders program that the aquarium runs during the summer, a place where the teens can hang out and relax, but also to be inspired about conserving about the ocean, and to serve, be on double duty, where it can also become a conference room if needed be.
So as the other teams did, we followed the design thinking process of empathizing, it's up here on the wall as well as here, defining the challenge, ideating, coming up with a whole bunch of different ideas and seeing which ones were best. Talked to Rita on Tuesday, and I was part of that process. And we started prototyping, and then finally today we're here to test our idea by sending it to you.
Alright, some of our interviews started on our first day when we went down to Monterey Bay Aquarium offices across the street from the normal aquarium. We met with teen alumni and interviewed them and gained their perspective and their ideas. Next, we met with Jennifer here, and she toured us around, and we met Bryce, who gave us some good architecture ideas and kind of gave us a better insight into where our parameters were and other guidance. Next, we met with Brian at the new 167 building, where he gave us some good exhibit advice and design advice. Oh, and then sorry about that. After that, we met with Katie, who gave us some good technology insight and showed us some of the concepts we could be using: iPads, touchscreen TVs, 3D printers, the works.
We also got to see the D Labs and Discovery Labs, where the teen program often meets. There's one of many locations they actually meet in, which is part of the problem that they pose to us. So what told us about is that the teens never really get to see one another. They're often split up into different groups and being shuffled around from room to room because they don't really have priority. They don't have their own space.
As this challenge was originally stated to us, we were told to incorporate many things. It was supposed to be a flexible space, it was supposed to reflect the mission of the aquarium, and it was supposed to be a place for teens to meet. After interviewing the teens and talking to everyone else, we came to the conclusion that there's one overarching topic that is most important. This needs to be the teen space. It needs to be their place year-round, even if they're not inhabiting it. It needs to reflect their ideology, their ideas, their creativity.
So then we came back together and really reflected on the needs of the users. We noticed that the teens really wanted their permanent space not to be the office space or a space that they use, but their own space, where they can have fun and be loud and be clever. So then we also talked to the adults, and they said they wanted a sustainable space. But after talking with Brian, we discovered that that the long term doesn't always have to be sustainable for it to work the best without problems. Then we also noticed that it needed to be a space where they can be used for a conference room or for volunteers to use.
Even as we were designing this space, we had to make a few assumptions. First of all, we didn't have the exact dimensions of this building, for like the windows we estimated, and we were also given, we were told we could have 750 square foot to 1,000 square foot, then 500 square foot, then 1,000 square foot. We went with 1,000 square foot. And we also had to assume that there'd be a bathroom nearby, since we didn't want to include that in the actual space. And Bryce also mentioned that there would be sound systems and microphones, and we assumed that they would use the technology that would come out in the year. This is going to take about 2 years to build before it's even to that process of buying technology.
September 2016. So.
All right, our solution came up with this floor plan, similar to the other groups. In the upper left-hand corner, you can see the door entranceway from the hallway. Between there's actually 2 buildings that the aquarium bought, and this is the closer of the 2 buildings to the aquarium, but it's on the far side of the building, closest to the. It's the corner closest to the ocean. Has great views. Second or third floor, both possibilities. And enter from the door on the upper left corner. Below that, as you can see, is actually a raised area, which incorporates our very special conference table as well as TV or touchscreen wall. In the lower area on the right, you can see tables and couches, all of which are flexible. Bottom right-hand corner, kitchenette. Teens love that stuff. There'll be some special ideas for the cabinets, which are on the upper wall, as well as access to the deck that is already in the space. We are hoping that that will stay even when the place is ripped apart and then put back together. Actually,
For a more kind of intricate kind of view, we did a SketchUp model also, which we're going to show to you here. Laura?
Okay, so here we are. This is the hallway, and this is going to be like the main entrance. As you walk in, you see the raised platform on the side. This is where the conference table will be. And separating this sort of hallway area from the conference table, there's a glass wall. We're thinking it'll probably be plexiglass, so that either the team leaders can leave a lasting mark by etching in the glass or painting on it, or it could be used as like a whiteboard with dry erase markers. And there's also an empty wall here that could be used for bulletin boards, announcements, whiteboards, etc. As you continue in, you see the cubbies on the left. They are 3 feet off the ground, and there are approximately 60 cubbies, which would provide easy access for students to leave their backpacks, their lunches, their jackets there. And it would also provide storage for the program in general, items for games, etc. And the reason it's 3 feet off the ground is if you see these tables, they are these, and if they need to be put away, you can push them under the cubbies. And these are called steel case tables. They're very flexible, easy to use, and they have wheels. And keeping with that motif of movability, we also have chairs that have wheels, armrests, and they're stackable, so they can be put away when they're not in use. And then in the corner there's a kitchenette, as we already mentioned. It's pretty basic. It just has like a microwave, a fridge, a sink. That stuff really makes a difference though, like when you're having your lunch after volunteering all day, and it would really mean a lot to teens. We also have couches, which are the ones you're sitting on. They're also by steel case. They're light, they're movable, you can push them around. Again, leaving the room adjustable in case you need space for group games and other activities. And over here is a conference table. We were told that the space is going to have to be used for other programs besides the TCL program, which is very understandable. And so we made a conference table that goes into the ground. So it's a raised platform. So when it is down, it is flipped over so you're walking on it. And then it raises up, it flips back over so you're not riding on the same surface, you were just walking on. Yeah, so it also leaves space if I need to do more chairs than can fit on the table. Those are the same chairs as we would use in the downstairs area. And then on the wall, we have a TV, it's actually several TVs, or it'd be a touch wall. It depends on what the technology evolves to. And it'd basically be a space for presentations, for watching movies, TV. It could also be used as a multi-touch whiteboard, so more than one person could be collaborating at the same time. And there's storage on the sides right there, usually probably for tech stuff. And then on the other side, like a low storage to keep more things. Oh, and well, I've told you like the technical side of all this. This is what it's going to look like, what we hope it looks like anyways. But really, we just want a space where the teens can relax, can enjoy themselves, and can really be themselves. They complained that after working all day, they just wanted to sit down and have a place to relax. And then, I forgot something. After talking to Brian, he told us about the ADA rule, the Americans with Disabilities Act. And so instead of just having stairs to the platform, we also have a wheelchair ramp also.
So now we're going to go through some of the things we found. Some of this has already been covered, but here's some examples of touch walls. They're new hit thing, sort of. Very popular with tech-savvy people. I'm sure the teens would love them. Yeah, like I said, you can use for conferences, presentations, put a camera on top. You can do some calls across the country, conferences. But for it to be really used as a teen space, whiteboard sort of thing, great for that. We also we're thinking of some glass walls, like we said. Plexiglass is a really great alternative to this. Write on it, paint on it. There's some examples around now. Right here, it's plexiglass actually. And we have, like we said, we have this rising table here. Some examples of rising tables and
This is a picture
these
of one.
tables. Yes. These are the cubbies we found. These are actually the ones that we sort of modeled everything off of. They're 4x3, so when you put them on their side and you put them up, you'll have 15 cubbies across and 4 tall, with just 60 cubbies. Fancy math. Yeah. These specific ones were the ones that we modeled everything after. Well, talk about kitchen.
Sure. This is the kitchen again. With we want to make it compact so it doesn't take up too much room. But basically, it's just a place where people can prepare their food and relax.
And then we also found these chairs that are rollable and stackable to conserve space. And then we also found couches, which are couches like you're sitting on currently, only in a different color to match requirement.
And finally, we bring it back to sustainability a little bit, but bamboo flooring is really great for this. It's sustainable. It's relatively cheap at around $4 a square foot, maybe $8 a square foot, depending on where you get it from. But it's also waterproof. And teens might get a little rowdy and knock some stuff over it, or you might just have some labs in there. Probably good. Well, maybe not the first one. But yeah, so bamboo flooring, really great for this. And so, all of this said, we really wanted to create the home of the TCL program where it's not just the place they meet, it's the place that they live. It's the place where the TCL program exists in, it's their place. Thank you.
Well, you guys did a great job. It's amazing. You really hit on an awful lot of the things, the elements that we talked about from the very beginning. I absolutely love the table.
Yeah.
That sinks down into the floor. I think that would be just great. And the idea of, just addressing the storage issue and you know, the comfort issue and the ability to have different spaces within the space so that there's a place for large group discussions or small intimate discussions, and definitely the kitchen, having access to food and snacks and stuff like that really makes it feel home, like home. So we certainly did address those issues, and I think quite successfully. Very impressive. Good job.
I liked your guys' idea of raising the conference floor just to make it a little bit of a separate level and make it a little bit more separate but also including. I thought was really a good idea. Nice job.
I like your idea about, you touched on it briefly, about maybe having a wall or a space where the kids could like leave their mark somehow, maybe a photograph or a message that was maybe permanent, because there's going to be a lot of kids that go through over the years and somehow are going to want to leave a little bit of a legacy that they were there, that maybe they can come back to, or other kids who are going through say, hey, that's my brother, or something like that. I think that's a pretty important aspect too, that they will leave their mark as well.
Thank you very much.